I love gaming, and having a device that can play almost each and every old game you want to play is a blessing. Heck, my favorite old games are like Final Fantasy 3, or maybe you might call it 6, Crisis Core Final Fantasy for PSP, and also the CDR Final Fantasy. And having a device that can play them, as I said, is a blessing. I'm pretty sure Apple users now agree with me because RetroArch is now available on iPhone. I know RetroArch is not an emulator, but let's just say it's an emulator for now, okay. And if I remember correctly, a few days ago, another emulator called Gamma, which I couldn't follow up on it, was released on iOS. And I also heard that PSP emulator is now available on Apple too. It was also released, I'm pretty sure, on the same day as RetroArch, because I saw both of them today. Okay, so let's get straight into it. RetroArch. So this RetroArch brings its free multi-system emulation to the iOS App Store. Happy iPhone emulator apps day to all who celebrate. And the news is by Wes Davis, okay, which was uploaded on May 15, 2024. Okay, so this might be something great for iOS users and also for Android users, because competition is something great, so yeah, let's just find out more about this. Okay, another emulator with tons of history and development, RetroArch, is now freely available on the iOS App Store today. This is great news for retro gaming fans with iPhones, because it can emulate a truly eye-grossing number of retro consoles once installed. In fact, there are too many to list here, but some notable emulation costs the extra separately developed emulation software included in this version of RetroArch are the NEC PC Engine, Nintendo DS, Game Boy Advanced, Virtual Boy, Neo Geo Pocket, and even the PSP, using the same code that drives the PSP app that went up today. Because as I said, even the PSP app is not available on the App Store. So, for those who are going to okay, I'm going to use the PSP core on RetroArch, I highly recommend you to just use the standalone app, because the RetroArch core is kinda unstable. Okay, you can see the list in full by clicking more on the RetroArch's description in its App Store listing. So if you go to its App Store listing, you will find all the cores that are available. So I heard many people say cores that are available for now are like Sega Dreamcast, Sega Saturn. Those are the two ones that I hear most people talking about them. Okay, so it might be something great for iOS users, but this video that is showing right now, as I can see, it is from an Android device. And again, my question is, as if you use an Android device, if you want the latest version of RetroArch, you have to go to its website. Okay, so I'm wondering if that will be possible for Apple users, because you know how Apple is so let's just continue more. Okay, strictly speaking, RetroArch isn't an emulator, but rather a front end that you can drop emulator cores into. So when you want to play a game, you need to load that game's core first. Although if you try to load a game with the wrong core, it will try to suggest the proper one for you. The app also has features like online gameplay, remapping buttons, or keys per emulation core, or per game, fast forwarding and rewind and gyro control. You will need to be on iOS/iPad OS 14.2 to run the new version of RetroArch, or own a Vision Pro. It's not available on the Mac version of the Apple App Store, but that's not a problem, since there's a Mac OS version and versions for other operating systems as well that you can easily download from the RetroArch website. Okay, so I think that is all the news, So, that is something really great, because it just shows you that, emulation is growing and rapidly. And as you can see, they say PSP brings PSP emulation to the iOS on the 15th of May. As I said, I saw them on the same day. So I thought they were uploaded on the same day. So here you go, you see they were uploaded on the same day. And also the Gamma app brings PS1 emulation to the iPhone. That is what I said in the intro, that there's now also another emulator that was dropped, a PS1 emulator. So now you can play Diablo, Final Fantasy 7 on your iPhone. Okay, this is great news. But from a group that I joined on Facebook, many people are asking, how do you get to find ROMs, because it is really hard for Apple users to like pirate games, because I heard many people saying Apple like monitors its users activities on their devices. Okay, so that is really hard. Maybe I don't know, because most people like, who like, use emulation, they like, have to like, mod their original system. For example, if you have like, maybe a Nintendo Switch, you can like, mod it for, so that you can like, take the ROMs from the Nintendo Switch and put them to your Android device or whatever you want to use for emulation. So yeah, this is great news for Apple users, and kind of like increases my chances of trying to buy an Apple device. But we'll see if this will continue more. But it kind of like makes me wonder